Hey, it's About Town Deb, and I'm so excited to have Yvonne, my Sassy Soul Sister, back with me. What are we talking? I know. What are we talking about?
Movie reviews. We're going to talk about travel and probably love and romance because that's always in style.
So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
In Nevada near the silver mines, there's a kind-hearted woman. She's looking so fine, always taking care of her community. Bringing folks together is her cup of tea. She's out on the road and all over the web with a big smiling heart. It's About Town Deb.
And welcome to our episode of City Talk. Today I'm so excited, as you heard when we previewed, Yvonne Murphy is back.
I'm back. I've missed you so much.
You've been gone too long.
I've been gone too long.
She's a busy woman, just so you know.
I'm busy.
But I'm grateful that she took the time because we got to have her on every month because
Gotta have me on.
I have to have, I love to have her more, but I'm just grateful that I get her once a month. But before we start the show, let's thank our sponsors because that's a big deal. Crystal, Basin, Cellars. I've mentioned we have a Sauvignon Blanc now as well. And I got to get my little bottom out there and get in all the restaurants where I have the red. Surratt Law Practice, as usual, Kim. Weldover Grille. And Weldover Grille is partnering with me this coming Monday for the Northern Nevada Children's Cancer Foundation's golf tournament with Tahoe Blue Vodka.
Wow, that sounds fantastic.
We're gonna do a John Daly and an Arnold Palmer for the golfers. So when they come by our little table, we're like, be nice to them and give them some beverages.
Okay.
Either way. So I just want to give a shout out to Weldover Grille for doing that. And then of course, Angel Fenix. You can't see Christian behind the thing. We got to thank him.
Love Christian.
We love Christian. And then of course, Caliber Hair and Makeup. And I do have to thank them too, because I went to 2 different events this last week, and a pop of color. There was a pop of color, the children's cabinet, and then I went to the Van Gogh. I went to the Van Gogh.
Oh, you went to the Van Gogh.
Oh, yeah. So Caliber did my braids for both those. So Caliber, thank you. I tried to do my own today, so it's probably not as fancy.
Hair and makeup is important.
It is. And I don't wear a lot of makeup, but I'm trying. I know, because we're just who we are.
We have natural beauty.
We have natural. Anyway, we got our sponsors, thank you, and that's what matters. So what did you do this last week? Then I'll share what I did.
I'm just busy. I'm all over the board. Some of it was personal, just family, get-togethers, meeting with friends. A lot of my friends have beautiful gardens. Their yards are looking really great after all that rain. So just kind of
hanging out,
personal stuff, and then working hard, and then planning out the summer. And quite frankly, I'm doing the countdown to Christmas at my house. We're 124 days to Christmas. So I'm thinking about, okay, what does that look like? I know, but
I don't hear
last minute. So yeah, I'm thinking about my annual Christmas card with my dear beloved. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Just stuff, but busy.
Okay, well, my stuff has been busy because talk about the Van Gogh, the art.
Tell me.
Did you go see it?
I did not go.
Are you going to see it?
I need to go.
Oh my gosh.
How long is it with us? Do you know?
I think it's at least a month, I'm hoping. I'm not sure.
I'll get over there soon.
I have to tell you, I had no idea what to expect. And when you walk,
fantastic.
It's like incredible. And it's your immersion. Is it?
Yes,
word?
I've seen
You're
it.
Immersed into it.
Yes.
And even if you know nothing about art, you don't even know who Van Gogh is, it is okay. Because when you walk in, it's just like your eyes open, your ears open. You can sense your senses are like, and there's this one spot where you first go in, and if you don't stop and listen and watch, you're going to miss it. Because the very first spot, like, you're really quiet, and then you look at the wall and there's all these lights. And as the lights are going down, it's Van Gogh's face.
It's beautiful.
And then it goes off on the floor. Okay. I'm just telling you guys.
This is exciting.
And then you go into the next room and all of his paintings come to life. And you could stand there for hours. I think we stood there an hour, and like I don't know how many minutes it replays the whole loop. But I'm telling you guys, if you've not been, you've got to go.
And we need to support the arts because, people complain that we don't have enough of it. But if we don't support what we do have, then we don't increase our chances for future projects.
And Reno was lucky to get this because not every city gets this.
Okay, tell people where it's at.
It's at the I want to say RSVC, the convention.
Center. It's at the convention center.
But if you just if you go on, just do Van Gogh Reno.
Okay,
that's all you got to do. It'll pop up. Right. Just put in Van Gogh art Reno. It'll all pop up.
You might have given me something to do this weekend.
Seriously, I'm not kidding you. You will go and you will feel.
Friday.
You honestly will feel like you're taken back in time.
It's beautiful.
And the first part you walk in, there's all the poems and the stories and the words.
It's wonderful.
Oh, so you literally are reading it and you cry and you laugh and I felt every emotion, and I like art, but this gave me a whole new feeling on art. So please, guys, if it comes to your town, I know it's usually in San Francisco, Sacramento, all the bigger cities, but if you can get to Reno's one, please do it.
We're the biggest little city in the world, so of course it came
That's why we're here. So that was the one big thing. And then Dorinda's Wine and Chocolate had a chocolate and wine pairing. So I went to that. Then I went to the Van Gogh. So I was a busy girl that night. And then on Friday, the Children's Cabinet did their pop-up color. And I've been to quite a few of their fundraisers every year. And their goal, I want to say, was 500,000, and they made over 650, I think.
This is beautiful. And fundraising, this is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And when the live auctioneer was out there, starting, and he said, "Hey, who wants to start with just the donations first?" He's like $20,000, and I'm like, they hit $100,000 on the first. Who wants to bid 20?
It's a beautiful thing,
and everybody was so gracious.
So you know what I read the other day? The people who are the happiest are the people who give.
I know.
When you're gracious and you believe in philanthropy, it's a beautiful thing. There's something very powerful about giving. Oh,
you just the energy in the room.
Yeah.
And then they went down as low as $100.
Okay.
So
it all adds up.
It all adds up. So I'm like, keep it going low for all of us who can't do the high number. But if you put a lot of people who can donate 50 to 100, you got it. So we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about movies.
We're going to talk about movies.
All that kind of stuff. So I went to the first movie by myself solo. So we'll talk about that. Stay tuned. It's About Town Deb and Yvonne Murphy.
Now more than ever, family matters, and Surratt Law Practice has your family in mind. Kimberly Surratt and her team have been helping maintain healthy families through their holistic approach to adoption and surrogacy, child custody, estate planning, and more for over 13 years. Your family law concerns are in caring hands with Surratt Law. Schedule your private consultation with a compassionate Surratt Law Practice team member today by calling 775-636-8200 or visiting lawyersforfamilies.com. Surratt Law, where family matters.
You're enjoying this episode on Angel Phoenix Productions Podcast Network. To explore a complete lineup of quality programs and media production services, head on over to angelphoenix.com or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Angel Phoenix Productions.
She's out on the road and all over the web with a big smiling heart. It's About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town, this is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now, back to the show.
And welcome back. Second segment. Wow.
I know.
What
Time
the heck?
flies when you're having fun.
I know. I'm so excited that Yvonne's here. It's like I don't even have to plan for a show because she has so much insight that she wants to share. But I forgot one other thing was very, very important. Yes. I went up to South Lake. Oh. I went to the Tahoe Blue Bloody Mary contest. It's up at the lake, and I was a judge.
I had no idea we had a Bloody Mary contest.
Oh, you got to go, man. I'm telling you, it was amazing. So I'm going to just give you a quick who was in it.
Okay.
The Buckaroos, Tahoe Jerky Company, Beach Retreat and Lodge, West Shore Cafe, Doc Holidays in Reno, which I didn't know, but he's amazing. Okay. McPee's Tap House, Whiskey Dick's, Mark Twain Saloon and Casino, State Line Brewery, Lake Tahoe Ale Works, and Lamata, it's like Tahoe. It's like it's like a Hispanic kind of really cool. They made it amazing. So the proud winners were Judge's Choice. First place was Whiskey Dick's. Second place was Beach Retreat. People's Choice. First place was Buckaroos, and second place was Beach Retreat. So it was so gorgeous to be able to be out there on the lake.
Wow.
And just see all the people, and it was great. So
can I tell you just how I know we all know this, but Lake Tahoe is so beautiful.
I know.
I went to visit a friend up on Lakeshore Boulevard a week ago, and when I walked into her house, Of course, there's all glass windows, and her view is the lake. And it was just stunning. And I looked at her and I said, and when you enter a certain type of house, you need to ask permission about taking your phone out.
Oh, your phone?
Well, you don't want to be taking pictures in
Okay,
some of
got it.
these estates because it's disrespectful to the families who live in them. And I asked permission to take a picture, and the lady, my host, was Mary. And I said, Mary, can I go out in your backyard and just take a picture of the lake? I'd forgotten how beautiful it is. And I just hadn't seen it in a long time. Lake Tahoe is stunning. It is the most beautiful thing you ever wanted to see. It's just fantastic. I want to just encourage people. We take it for granted because it's here. And nobody bothers.
I say that all the time.
It's worth the drive.
To Georgia. I'm like, how come we don't come up here more? It's like,
for me, it's the drive. I'm not crazy about that drive.
Yeah, but it's like an hour. I think we figured
it's not the length of time. It's the size of the road.
I'm not good at
it seems a little tight to me.
It is tight.
And it's a little curvy.
It is a little curvy.
And can make you a little nauseous. But
I take a Dramamine.
Yeah.
It helps. But
Lake Tahoe's
it was great. I'm just saying that they did a great job, and I'm always honored to be able to be a judge up there. So, and Tahoe Blue vodka, and Tahoe Blue does so much for the lake with all the cleanups. I don't know if you've heard that, but they go underwater and they get diving teams. They pick up tons of trash.
I appreciate
that. So
they
do give back to the community. So I just want to say thank you.
Beautiful thing.
Now,
let's talk movies.
Okay.
Solo. I'm the movie queen.
You're the movie queen.
I love movies.
You started.
And I have 5 of them that if you haven't seen them, please go see them.
Ready.
Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris.
Ooh.
It's a tender, heartwarming story. It's a feel-good movie. And it's basically about a common woman who does something very dramatic and powerful, and how we as a society separate people into social classes. But at the end of the day, the little guy wins in a beautiful, dramatic way. So it was on the bestseller list forever. So check it out. Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris.
Okay.
The second movie was also on the bestseller list forever, Where the Crawdads Sing.
I want to go to that one.
It is a phenomenal book, and it is a jaw-dropping movie. And up to the last 10 minutes, you didn't know what the twist in the plot was. As you're sitting there, everybody in the theater gasping at the same time.
I want to go.
And it's an excellent movie. Reese Witherspoon is responsible for the production of it. It is off the chart. A +10, highly recommended. And even if you've read the book, you need the visual. Go see the movie.
So I'm glad you said about the book, because Grandma B, here's your shout out. Because I told Grandma B you had picked a list of movies, and I was going to go solo. I mentioned The Crawdad. She goes, I read that book.
Oh yeah.
So thank you,
and my
Grandma
next
B,
door
for
neighbor
your
said that. She's 80 years old, and she said, "What'd you do the other day?" And I said, "I went to see this movie." And she went, "Oh my God, I've read that book twice."
Yeah.
So it is a page turner. It's worth reading.
Should you read the book first?
Either way, you don't have to. But if you have, it's great.
Okay.
But if you haven't, I'm going to read the book again. I read the book, saw the movie, you're going to read the book again.
Okay.
Top Gun was very, very, very adrenaline, high-strung, high-powered. It was off the chart wonderful. Very proud of it. But what was tender for me was how they worked Val Kilmer's actual true life cancer into the script. It's just phenomenal.
I did see that one.
It's touching. It was classy. It was well done. Even if you're not a Top Gun fan, go see it. Jurassic Park.
That's a little scary.
Ooh,
was it
Jurassic
scary?
Park. Hey, let me tell you about it.
Tell me about it.
In 1993, by coincidence, that was my first trip to New Zealand. And when I got there, I slept the first 2 days because you've crossed the international date line. So not only is the date different, the time is different. So when I get up as an American, I'm looking for McDonald's, right? Which is a little insulting to go to.
Do they not have those?
Well,
there?
they had one, and it wasn't quite the same, but it was McDonald's. But I happened to look up, and there was a movie marquee, and the original Jurassic Park was there.
The original one.
So I saw the original one in 93 in New Zealand.
Oh, how exciting.
Coincidentally, it's released now. It's off the chart. It's amazing. It is powerful. Now, when I was a little girl, I was into dinosaurs. I was into Godzilla.
I love dinosaurs. I don't like Godzilla.
No, Godzilla.
I saw that movie.
Hello. Godzilla's all good because he saves the people. and with the 2 little women in the box. But notwithstanding, Jurassic Park did deliver on this promise. I absolutely loved it. It was fabulous. But it's ironic in my life. So now there's a New Zealand connection in my life.
I know
now.
why.
So it's just crazy how it's all tied together. Okay, let me tell you something I saw. And it was so good. It was in chronological order. It was accurate. It was authentic. And the guy who played the role is Austin Butler, Elvis. Elvis is to die.
Elvis
it is
in the
good. Elvis was in the house. You got the whole story about Colonel Parker. Elvis was absolutely fabulous. So even if you think, oh no, I'm not into Elvis Presley, go see the
story.
movie.
There's always a story.
And it's about the time and the world that we lived in. The 50s, some different relations with people. Things weren't exactly smooth in our country. Well, hell, they're not very smooth in our country now. But no, go see Elvis. Elvis was good. And Austin Butler should be nominated for something because separate from the fact that the Presley estate approved of it, it was so spot on. It was scary. It was almost like he had channeled Elvis Presley. It was the craziest thing you ever saw in your life. And it was absolutely good. So those are my 5 movies. Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, Where the Crawdads Sing, Top Gun, Jurassic Park, and Elvis.
Well, I texted you last week. Remember? I said, I'm going to movies all by myself.
It's fun to do by yourself.
I documented it because I was a little bit nervous. And I walked in, I'm like, okay, it's like different now in the movies.
It's different.
You order on the phone and there's like nobody there. You go, so I did. And I got my goodies and I sat down and it was in the like 2:00. So there may have been 15 people. Yeah, and it's funny because there were some seniors and I'm a senior behind me and they were chat the whole time before the movie. So I'm like, geez.
Really, people.
Like, really, really loud. And I'm thinking, are there like kids back there? I'm like, no, it's the seniors. But I think they were happy to see each other. But once the movie started, it slowed down. So I went and I saw Mac and Rita.
Did you like it?
Well, my cousin Georgia told me I had to see it. If she hadn't told me that it was like me, it would have been better. Because I went, did you see it?
No.
Okay. So I'm not very good at, it's a 30-year-old self-proclaimed homebody who's Mac Martin. And she's going to go to a bachelor party with her friends for a wedding and her friend. And somehow she went into this thing at this fair, she sat in it. And all of a sudden she became her inner 70-year-old.
Oh, Diane Keaton.
Yes.
Okay,
Diane
I saw
Keaton's
the preview.
So all of a sudden she's like, ah! But she loved her grandma. Like, so she always had that old soul. And so when that happened, she was doing influencing. Mac was doing influencing, kind of like I do.
Right.
So when she became the 70-year-old, all of a sudden they're like, hey, we like this your aunt. I think she called her your aunt. So anyway, there was a lot of it that was a little bit like me.
Sounds like a chick flick.
It's a total chick flick.
Okay.
But I think the story behind it, I think for the young Mac was, yes, she loved her grandma, and yes, it's okay to love all those qualities. And she would wear her grandmother's clothes, and her friends would make fun of her. Like, you need to get in the current ages, But at the end of it, when she became Rita, the aunt, she hung out with her mom's friends. So now she's like, I'm really Mac. They're like, yeah, right.
So it's a little time travel.
It's a time travel.
Okay, it's a time travel.
And I won't spoil it, but I'm just saying there were parts of it when I looked, I'm like, dang, that's me. I'm like 63. I'm a 63-year-old Rita. And it was
beautiful 63.
Thank you. And she was beautiful. I mean, she played the part perfect. So definitely anybody in this age should go see it.
And if you like Diane Keaton.
She's amazing. Okay. She played the part to a T, however you say that. Anyway, so and it is a comedy, so it is funny.
We need to laugh.
Yeah, and so actually what the bottom of it said, a sparkling comedy with a magical twist. Okay. Mac and Rita celebrate being true to yourself at any age. Well, that's what I was trying to say with all my rambling. So that was my movie review. Now I think I need to go see the Crawdad ones or Elvis.
To see Crawdad.
I'm going to go again by myself, just so you know.
The other thing I want to tell you about movies before we run out of time, when it's blistering hot outside, to be in air-conditioned dark
is
just
really
for 2 hours, it's really nice.
Yeah.
So if you can squeeze that in, and I know people think they need to go with someone else, but sometimes that's complicated to get people to agree to show up. Just go.
You know what? I had a friend, because I put on the Facebook, have you done this? I had a friend who called me and he goes, he didn't put it on Facebook, but he said, hey, if you go by yourself, you can see what you want to watch. You can go at the time you want to go. I'm like, actually I can. Yeah. But I really want to do it again. And the other thing is I think I might have napped.
Well,
just being
if
honest.
You relaxed a little bit, that's cheap therapy. I mean, you think about the cost
I'm
of the
talking
ticket.
like 5-10 minutes. I
Okay,
didn't
well,
need
that's
to.
all right.
All of a sudden I set up, like, what did I miss? So,
okay, well,
it happens.
You're
anyway,
probably tired.
I was tired. But anyway, we're going to take another break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about fall destinations and travel and all that kind of good stuff. It's About Town Deb and Yvonne. We'll be right back.
You're enjoying this episode on Angel Phoenix Productions Podcast Network. To explore a complete lineup of quality programs and media production services, head on over to angelphoenix.com or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Angel Phoenix Productions.
You know that's what she said. Come on, let's have some fun with About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town, this is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now, back to the show.
And welcome back to City Talk. You got About Town Deb, Deb McCarthy, and Yvonne Murphy, my Sassy Soul Sister in the house.
Soul Sister in the house.
So a lot of good movies out. I'm really glad that you do a great job. I'm not a movie reviewer, as you can tell. I was not as eloquent as Yvonne was, but I am going to go again, and I'm going to see Crawdads next.
Please
I think that should be the one I should see.
Yeah, I think so.
So I want to quickly do a quote, or maybe not. Here's my quote of the week. I want to forget this. When you have a dream, you've got to grab it and never let it go. Is a quote I saw. And then the purpose of our lives is to be happy. Dalai Lama.
I think people are afraid to dream because I think people are afraid of disappointment, but we should. We should dream, and we should be bold enough and daring enough to reach for it and just go for it.
I think you are right. I think a lot of people may think they don't deserve what they're dreaming for, or that can't possibly happen to me, or why would that dream come true? But when you think about it, anything is possible.
Anything is possible. And we want to step into those possibilities, whatever they are. So, we should dare to dream just a little bit.
Dare to dream, travel. That's kind of like a lot of people dream about, I want to travel to here or there.
And where might people want to go?
Oh, I'm just going to give you a little hint because in the beginning, I forgot to say we are in Sparks, Nevada at the Musicians Rehearsal Center. We're so glad that they're hosting us. We're here all the time. Yes. And also, hopefully there'll be an event here for Children's Cancer Foundation soon. You heard it here first. The top destination for fall. Not that I didn't make this up.
Okay.
Las Vegas, Nevada.
It's worthy.
I did not. And New York is after us. What the heck?
So here's the deal about Las Vegas, separate from the fact it's in our state and we are a state of tourism, is that we have every type of hotel, including non-gaming properties. Yeah. We have some of the best restaurants in the world because we have Michelin chefs there. Yeah, we have sommeliers. We have some of the best residency shows in the world. You've got everything, country music, pop, rock.
So you mean at the venue, residency.
So at the various properties, a lot, for example, that's funny, we're talking about that. Adele, who was on again, off again with Caesar's Palace, has decided she's going to do the residency in Caesar's, and it makes sense. So instead of them a celebrity, traveling all over the world in a different city every night. They stake out Las Vegas. They're there for Celine Dion did it. You stake out a city and people come to you instead of you flying all over the world to see them. And it's just a wonderful way to express your craft and to be available to people. I think it's wonderful. Vegas is very exciting. And for most Nevadans, what we all know, even if we don't want to admit it, Las Vegas carries the state.
Yeah,
I mean the funds that are generated from room tax and gaming and all the entertainment, it's enough to fund a state. So I think the people in the north and the rurals, every now and then you want to take a quick vacation, that's definitely Las Vegas, and obviously for people from all over the world. So
and you can Vegas come to Reno. We're not that far.
Yeah, not
biggest
that far.
Little city.
Yeah, if you're gonna fly, if you're gonna fly to Las Vegas, you might as well fly to Reno, and you might as well take a drive up to Tahoe. So you get it all in one package.
So I think our biggest little city should be a part of your Nevada
we should
trip,
be first.
Just so you know, you need
and
to
New
do
York.
that.
New York is next. Wow.
I've never been to New York.
You haven't?
Only like in the airport as you're going to another.
Oh,
I haven't.
There should be a girls' trip.
I need a girls' trip.
Do New York as a tourist, and you want to do it tourist.
But as a tourist,
you want to do it as a tourist first couple.
So
times.
do you get like a person?
So I'll help you. You need an Empire State Tour. You need to do the Metropolitan Museum of Art. You need to do Manhattan. You need to do Soho. So New York is a fabulous thing to do.
How much time do you need?
Well, it's
a day
couple
or
of
two?
trips. Well, no, if you're going to go.
How would you do it?
Well, if you're going to leave Reno and go to New York, it should probably be a 5-day trip.
Right, that's what I'm at.
Right. I mean, so you got 3 days. So you got a day of travel on each end and 3 days actually in New York. And you want to go to all the restaurants and the shows, and you got Central Park and Times Square. There's so many wonderful things. So New York makes sense to me. And the one that I thought was interesting is your next one.
What, Orlando, Florida?
Yeah.
What? I mean, I've actually been to Well, I've been to Miami.
Okay. Yeah,
I have
Orlando's
not.
different.
Is that because of the
thinking it's-
Disneyland
Yeah,
thing?
I'm thinking it's a family Disneyland
Yeah, okay.
sort of kind of thing. Yeah.
I don't know. I
For
mean, I
me-
haven't been there.
Yeah, I love Miami.
I mean,
I'm
I'm
not as crazy about Orlando, but
you
it
know,
made the list for a
Then
reason.
Honolulu.
Well, there was an article in yesterday's news that said that Hawaiians want us to look at Hawaii differently because they don't want us to see it so much as a vacation destination. They want us to be more immersed into their culture and understand that most Hawaiians are literally, by virtue of their very existence, prisoners on their own vacation island. They don't get to enjoy it the way we do because they're servicing us while they're there. We're
Right.
there.
So how do we help with that?
So I don't know, but go online and just Google. In the last 2 days, I saw that the Hawaiian tourism is trying to struggle with rebranding itself because the actual natives aren't
getting to enjoy
thrilled
their
about
own.
us just showing up, using up the facility and leaving. But that's what a tourist destination town is. But
I know.
we want to be
like
respectful.
You said, it's on that island. So
It's on an island.
There's no way they can get out and get a break from us.
Exactly. They can't get a break from us.
Okay.
But so let's be respectful when we do go to Hawaii. And by the way, my favorite Hawaiian island isn't on here. I love
What's that?
Kauai.
Hawaii
is where they shot Jurassic Park, the waterfall scenes where you see massive waterfalls. Kauai is very relaxing. Honolulu is technically part of Oahu, and that's where the military installation is for the event that happened there. And I just kind of like the islands that are more relaxing. So the Big Island is relaxing. Oahu's a lot of fun. Maui is a party island.
I do. I've been to Maui.
Yeah.
But
It's
I was
party
young.
island.
I was like 18, 19.
But it's beautiful.
It was gorgeous.
And it's part of the United States.
Yes. So please go check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was
lovely.
Key West, Florida, Nashville. Have you been to Nashville?
I love Nashville.
I've
I
never
took
been to Nashville.
a student
Very
there
sheltered.
when I was the dean of a Christian school a couple years ago. I had a high school student, a senior, and she has a beautiful voice, and she had made a demo tape already.
Wow.
And her parents gave me the wonderful task of taking her to Nashville so she could see Music City. Now, I had lived in the South in my youth when I was doing some graduate work. I did some courses down there, so I was familiar with Brentwood and Nashville and whatnot. But we went on a girls' trip, and we had a ton of fun. Nashville's very cool. It's not just country music; it's music.
All
a lot of
kinds
writers
music, right?
and a lot of performers, and it's got a southern twist with a little bit of a cowboy twist with a little bit of a farm twist. It's
Dang,
just
I want to
sassy.
go.
Yeah, it's
Sassy. I like
It's
sassy.
sassy. I like it.
Then there was Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, New Orleans.
New Orleans.
New Orleans. New Orleans.
I know. European people mess that up.
I know.
New Orleans. It's New Orleans.
New
people.
Orleans. And then Miami Beach. I have been to Miami Beach. But I was going on a cruise. So we flew into there and took the ship out. So I went on a hop on, hop off bus with our cousins. And we were on the first thing in the morning. And we didn't get off till the end.
So how do you think
great.
travel works now with all of what's going on with the airlines? I'm starting to think that we might want to start thinking about driving to places, to take your vacations within driving distance. Because it seems to me what messes up a good vacation now is the flight cancellation. Well, first of all, the cost of the tickets are very expensive. But then all the cancellations. And
I would say when I travel, I'm traveling closer to the area. So if I fly, I'm flying to Burbank. I'm flying to Palm Springs.
Exactly.
You can
The
fly
1
to
hour
Boise.
flights.
Take the 1 hour flight and try to get a flight that's direct. Because I'm telling you, every time you have to get off, you don't know if your luggage is going to make it to where you're going, or they cancel your flight and now you're on a different flight. So it's a little tricky.
It is tricky, and you're right. So from Reno, it can be San Francisco.
Yeah.
It can
You
be
can go to,
Las Vegas, of course, Santa Barbara, San Diego, that whole
area.
California area. And even going north, Portland.
Yeah, definitely. I would
Seattle's
say
not too bad, but you want to kind of fly within your region and then get in a car and do whatever else you need to do.
I would do that.
Because I think these cross-country trips are counterindicated at this point.
Yes, but I think that we have a lot in wherever you're living in your own state. You should go to your state website and the RSCVAs and the travel places and look and see. Because I never took the time to realize what other amazingness was in Nevada.
Yeah,
I mean, we have Travel Nevada, and they'll show you where to go. They'll give you a map. They give you the points to go. whatever state you're in, I really think you should do that.
You can hop in your car in Reno and be in Sacramento in 2 hours.
Oh, I've done
you can
that.
technically be in the Bay Area in 4 hours.
Yes.
So people might ought to start thinking about how to support their region by vehicle. And then they're going to say, but what about the cost of the gas? Yeah, well, between the airline ticket and the cancellations, you got to weigh out the worst of two evils.
Gas is going down a tiny bit.
It's going down tiny.
Yeah. And I know in Carson City, we drove through Carson City to go to Tahoe, and it was $4 and something, and it was $5 in Reno.
Yes.
So anytime I'm a south end of town, I'm thinking, should I go to Carson City? I don't know why it's cheaper there.
A faster in and out in their DMV, at least that's the way it's always been for me.
Why is that?
And I remember all my legislative years as a lobbyist, I would fill up in Carson because the gas is cheaper in Carson.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Is it that way in every state? The capital cheaper?
But it's only a hop, skip, and a jump up the highway. So.
I know, but I'm just saying that.
Yeah, we should do it.
I was like, oh, I'm half full. Let's get gas.
And then while I'm there, I can go to Schott's Bakery.
Oh.
Schott's Bakery. The best desserts, the best bread, and really great lunches.
Totally good.
And great salads and a wonderful cheeseburger. Not that I know from personal experience, but that's what I heard.
I have a feeling she's been there.
That's what I heard.
So a little bit of time of solo while doing all this solo travel. Have you done solo? We've talked about it with Amber before.
I'm not really a big fan of traveling alone because I feel like if I want to be alone, that's more like a local spa experience.
Oh, yeah.
But if I'm going to travel and go somewhere, I want to explore that region. And I kind of like to share those memories with another person. So the idea of, let's say, going by myself from here to Santa Barbara, to do what with who, to go where? If you're with a person, I think you're going to be more adventurous and, you're probably going to feel safer.
Yeah.
And so I'm not a big fan of traveling alone, but if it works for you, more power to you.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet. But I'm thinking that I wouldn't mind. Well, I guess I have. I went to Sacramento for a meeting. And when I got to Sacramento, I called my friend Sandy and I'm like, okay, I'm downtown. I'm walking around by myself. And I talked to her the whole time. So I really wasn't alone until everybody else got there. So that's my only solo.
So maybe you should test the water and go check in the Hyatt up at Incline.
Oh,
and
yeah.
See how you feel about being there by yourself. And that way you're not too...
Actually, that's a really good idea.
Or I don't know, the other... Ritz-Carlton?
Ritz-Carlton. We're going to think about that. One more break. When we come back, we're not even going to tell you what we're going to talk about. You have to stay tuned. It's About Town Deb and Yvonne.
Now more than ever, family matters, and Surratt Law Practice has your family in mind. Kimberly Surratt and her team have been helping maintain healthy families through their holistic approach to adoption and surrogacy, child custody, estate planning, and more for over 13 years. Your family law concerns are in caring hands with Surratt Law. Schedule your private consultation with a compassionate Surratt Law Practice team member today by calling 775-636-8200 or visiting lawyersforfamilies.com. Surratt Law, where family matters.
You're enjoying this episode on Angel Phoenix Productions Podcast Network. To explore a complete lineup of quality programs and media production services, head on over to angelphoenix.com or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Angel Phoenix Productions.
Ready to help from her toes to her head. Just give her a shout. Call About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town, this is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now, back to the show.
And welcome back to our final segment. Where does the time go?
I don't know. It happens too quickly. All this anticipation to see you.
And then we're
driving
done.
Across town like a crazy woman racing against the clock. And it all happens so quickly.
I know.
I know. That's the way life is.
So life is funny.
Yeah.
And life is crazy. But
it is.
There's also lots of stuff that we can take ourselves out of our own business.
Yeah.
And do you have any other business?
I do have some other business I want to handle. One is a cautionary tale. I heard Ashley Judd make an incredible statement about her late mother. And she said, Mom was undiagnosed and untreated for mental health. And I just want to remind our audience and ourselves that our mental health is really critical. And we all have an issue. There's no such thing as you don't have a mental health issue. If you've had the most perfect life, if it's been stunning and wonderful and great, you're still a human being and you have feelings and you have a past and you have a present and you have a future. And so, it's sad to me that their mom was in that much pain. And I'm sad that they're left with all the questions that they're left with. But I just want to remind all of us that, take some time for yourself. If you need some help, get some help. It's one of those things, if you know something, say something. If you need help, get help. And so, and don't be ashamed of it. And if you're diagnosed, take your meds, exercise, eat healthy, do what you need to do, but don't be ashamed of it because, it's not gender based. Men have issues relative to military service, to all sorts of traumatic things that happen in their lives. Some of us have childhood issues. Some of us are traumatized as adults, but whatever it is, you're not in it alone, and there's somebody available to talk to you. So please, please, please reach out if you need to talk. The other thing I want to talk about on another note is this whole Bennifer thing, because I'm kind of fascinated.
Bennifer?
Yeah, well, Bennifer is, let me get this straight.
Okay.
Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. And so we call him Bennifer. And so they finally got married, and it's a love story 20 years in the making. And I think the world was surprised that they eloped and went to Las Vegas. And that's fine. I mean, sometimes getting married is complicated. And I can speak to that from personal experience. When you have family all over the world and you're trying to blend two clans together, just for various reasons, sometimes it's just too complicated. You just need to elope and just, tell everybody you love that you're going to do it, but just go ahead and elope and be done with it. So they eloped, and then less than 2 months later, they threw this extravagant 3-day wedding.
3-day wedding?
A 3-day wedding.
Dang.
So they flew in their friends, Matt Damien and all these people on their Gulfstream jets and so on and so forth. Oh. And I just thought to myself, what's the purpose of eloping?
If you're going to have a big party.
If you're going to turn around and have a big wedding.
I agree
and
on
then
that
repeat the whole thing, and you're in a bridal gown both times. And, you didn't invite people the first time, but you invited everybody the second time. And it just kind of feels like, I want people to know, and I'm saying this to myself as well, it's not really about the wedding, it's about the marriage. And we get all caught up in the dress and that day of festivities, but it's not about the wedding, it's about the long term. And so where the rubber meets the road and where life gets real, it's really about planning out your future in a way that's sustainable. So yes, have a celebratory event if you need to. For some of us with a little time on this, and it's not our first time at the altar, then, do what you got to do. But remember, it's not about, and I want you to be a blushing bride, and I want you to be happy. And I do think you should capture, if there's one thing I think all weddings should have, large or small, is a photographer.
I agree.
You want to capture that moment and freeze it in time, because if you don't, you won't remember it. You just can't. Your brain simply can't remember it. So I think even if it's a wedding for 6, bride, groom, 2 witnesses, a photographer.
You still need a photo.
You still need to have somebody there to photograph. So I think you need that above all things. The other thing I want to talk about is, I follow all these Housewives series.
Yes.
And I'm not as thrilled about them here lately, because on 2 of my series, the women are in legal trouble. Housewives of
But you mean for real?
Real
like
trouble.
they really are in trouble.
No, convicted in the federal court.
It's not part of a makeup story.
No, we're talking jail time.
Okay.
Jin Shaw is part of the Housewives of Salt Lake City, and she was accused of defrauding seniors in some sort of phone scam. Oh. And I'll have to check to see if she has an arraignment date, what's going to happen to her. Certainly a fine, but there could be some jail time connected to her. The other person is Erica Jane. She's the one that made that song, It's Expensive to Be Me. She was married to an older gentleman. He was an attorney. He now has Alzheimer's. Turns out his law firm, he's been disbarred. His law firm stole hundreds of millions of dollars from accident burn victims while she was living the high life. So the money was going through the law firm into her pocket. And I just wanted to say 2 things, and I'm also speaking to myself. We get all excited and fascinated with these people because they're beautiful. They've had every plastic surgery procedure. They've got their jets, their vacations, their jewels. You're not supposed to have it at the expense of stealing from other people. And what really, the reason I brought these 2 up is Jin Shaw, if it's true, allegedly, shame on you stealing from seniors.
Oh, of course.
Like, this is just beyond awful. And Erica Jane, if the reason it was expensive to be you, well, not really because you were using somebody else's money, but the husband is now fully, again, he's disbarred. He's 80 years old and he's not in his full capacity. And she's potentially facing jail time. So don't be fascinated with all the silliness you see on TV. It's just not real. And
but what I'm confused about is that who picks these women? And why do they pick somebody who is not a good person?
Here's a bigger question. Why does America have an appetite to know?
You're watching.
Well, child, but guilty is charged.
I know.
And that's what I'm saying. Why do we have this appetite to even look at it? They can only produce it. It's supply and demand. They make it because we watch it. And it's all the reality shows. 16 and Pregnant, that's ridiculous.
I don't even want to talk about that
Sister
one.
Wives, that's ridiculous. I mean, all these shows are ridiculous. And that's my point. Let's turn the TV off and get back to the basics. Pull out a book. play a musical instrument.
Play a card game.
And for goodness sake,
We
somebody
play
teach me
cards.
how to play Mahjong.
What's that?
I don't know, some
What is
fancy game
Mahjong?
that I don't know that all my
Sounds
society
fancy. I don't
friends
know.
are doing up in
I
these
don't
gated
know what that
communities.
Mahjong.
I saw it in a movie.
Is there wine involved?
No, well, there can't be. Crazy Rich Asian. Did you see that movie?
Oh, I did see that movie.
Okay, well, when the two mothers were slinging it out over some kind of,
That was
it
a
looked like
game?
dominoes, but that's Mahjong.
Well, I
But
think
anyway.
Somebody needs to share that.
Somebody needs to teach us how to play Mahjong.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, let's just like get back to visiting our friends and having a cup of tea or a glass of wine or working in the garden and stop watching all this silliness.
In Tahoe, because we stayed at our friend Heidi's
one of
house.
us is doing the same thing.
It was, yes. I mean, we went to Heidi's. She just got a new cabiny house up there in Tahoe.
Okay.
And so she said, hey, ladies, I'm so excited you're coming. What should we do? Let's go on a picnic. Do you want to play cards? This is the music. So literally the TV was never on. We cooked together. We all took turns chopping.
Very bonding. It
was so much fun.
I want to go. How come I didn't get invited
I
to
didn't
the
know.
chopping?
You got to let me know. She's a good cook. I'm not a good cook. You're a good
I'm a good cook.
But the cool thing was she wanted to play. She had all these, a basket of games up there.
Unique games.
And we played, I don't even know what it was, King of Queens. I don't know, something queen game. But I didn't win. Georgia won. I said, okay, guys, I already know I'm going to lose. I'm just going to have fun and drink wine.
Okay, but engaging in the dialogue,
But it was
in
so
the
much fun.
relationship, it's relational.
Yeah, and we would stop a hand and talk about life, and then we play a hand, and then like, oh my God, who's doing the next draw?
Right.
Because it just brought us closer together. In the morning, she fixed us breakfast. We went to the Tahoe Blue thing. We came back and never turned the TV on. We took a walk. We just it was like 3 girlfriends just chatting and
that sounds
enjoying
lovely.
the moments.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm going to keep my Turner classics. I like my old black and white movies. The clothes were flawless. Those divas back in the day, girl, shut up. It was fabulous, right? And I love the clothes and I love the architecture and I loved all the gentleman-like manners. And I just love the old Joan Crawford and, oh my goodness, Catherine Hepburn. It was fabulous. So I like my Turner classics.
Okay.
And I'm also watching this channel, and I don't know what it's called, but it has the old Gunsmoke on it.
Oh,
and
I always watch
Yeah. All the old cowboy stuff. Yeah. So
my
I kind of
dad
like my
loved
old
that.
black and white. So I'm going to
do
watch
too.
some TV.
Yeah. No,
but we don't need to watch all this silliness, trash TV.
Yeah, I was happy just to go to be in Tahoe in a cabin and not think about anything, but look how beautiful, smell the smells from the trees. It was, and I was looking for the bear. They have a bear that goes there and he didn't show up.
A bear.
I was peeking out the window.
Speaking of
all
which,
night.
I don't want to be a total hypocrite. If there's ever a Housewives of Reno, Tahoe,
Oh.
you know they better call me.
I know. I know.
I
better
will,
call me too.
I will be out there
But
twirling.
I'm not a wife. Do you have to be a wife?
Well,
can you
now-
be like a prospective wife? They can find somebody.
I'm hours away from closing that loop, so that's going to happen in my life soon enough. But trust me, by the time Andy Cohen gets here with his crew, I can be part of the Housewives of Reno, Tahoe.
And I'm just going to be a little visitor that visits her house every now and then. And,
Fabulous.
Hey, you just manifested that. That could happen.
You
You're out
just
there listening.
got to speak it out
We
into
got
the
to
universe.
speak it out into the universe.
Okay,
Yes.
so what else is going on with you?
I don't know. With me, I actually just promoting our town. Oh,
I appreciate that.
I do. I mean, and people
You
like,
encourage me to go to Van Gogh. That's the
yeah,
only reason
you
I'm
totally
going now.
really, you need to go.
I think I'll do it Friday.
I don't know. I have a lot of videos to catch up on of every place I've been because I usually do a video showing how the event went. So I'm really behind on that. But I decided when we were up in Tahoe to not work and to just, I mean, I did work at the Bloody Mary contest, took photos and videos, and I had my 2 friends did it for me. So we were all taking photos and videos.
That's awesome.
But I just want to remind everybody, like you mentioned, you need to take time to, number one, take care of yourself.
For sure.
And I'm the worst culprit of that. So I'm just putting it out
Guilty as
there.
charged.
I'm very guilty of that. But there are days when I'm like, you know what? I'm okay. I'm just going to sit down and watch a, what are they called when you watch a whole bunch at once?
Oh, just a minute. I'm having a senior moment.
It's a blacklist.
It's like a marathon.
A marathon. I don't know. I don't do that very often, but if I feel like I just need to kind of get away and not think about what I have to do, where I have to go,
That
what
can
I have
happen
to
on
clean.
Netflix,
I
Some
don't
of the
have
series,
Netflix. I
it
know.
just rolls over to the next one, and you can easily be there
I
for
can
3 or
do
4
that.
hours.
But it's almost, well, we're going to take our last, this is it. No more breaks.
We're taking a break.
No, we're
break.
done.
Oh, I hate
So
that.
we love you guys.
Very
and
much.
Yvonne, my Sassy Soul Sister, I can't wait to see her next month. And just remember to be nice and be kind.
Yeah,
and know that-
I'll have a new status by then. I'll have lots to talk about.
I'm so excited. I can't, so you have to stay tuned for next month to find
Speak
out
it
what
out
the new
loud.
stance is.
Love
The new
is a beautiful
status is. So be loved, be happy, be kind. Remember, together we're one heart. It's About Town Deb. and
We love
Yvonne.
you. Bye.
This podcast was a production of Angel Phoenix Productions. Explore more episodes of this show or other great shows on the Angel Phoenix Podcast Network by visiting angelphoenix.com. The views expressed in this show do not necessarily represent those of Angel Phoenix Productions or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.